Hey everybody, it's Charlie from Daily Motor, and today we've got the real-world highway fuel economy test of the 2021 Ford F-150 Hybrid. We're going to head out on the highway and do 50 miles out, 50 miles back, averaging 70 miles per hour to get a realistic fuel economy average for this hybrid truck. Before we get started, let's hop out, take a quick look at it. Looking good here in this red paint. I'm actually going to leave the door open because I hate the honk sound it makes when you walk away with the key in your pocket. But rocking the 3.5 liter EcoBoost along with a battery and electric motor, giving it a hybrid ability. This truck really is a treat to drive around town. However, its fuel economy numbers on the highway are really not any better than the gas truck, so it'll be interesting to see what we get. If you want to see more on this F-150, check the links in the description. We've got reviews for the binaural sound system, we've got a full review, and I'll also throw in the reviews to the limited trim that we saw earlier this year. So why do we do this test? Well, the EPA Highway Fuel Economy Test, which gives this truck 24 miles per gallon on the highway, that test only averages 48 miles per hour. And we know there are people who'd like to take their trucks on long road trips who would like to know what sort of numbers they can realistically expect in the real world. So to do that, we're going to go to the gas station, fill up using the 3-click fueling method, go out and do 100 miles, come back, fill up at the same pump using the same fueling method, get ourselves a result. A few things to note today. Outside temperature is 43 degrees Fahrenheit. Tire pressures have been set to their door placard 35 psi cold. I'm also running the truck in sport mode over to the gas station to hopefully gas up the hybrid battery a little bit and to warm up the engine, because even though I've been driving for a little while here, the engine keeps cutting out because it can run in hybrid mode and the engine really isn't up to full operating temp, but that'll happen in just a few minutes of highway driving. Another thing I want to note is we are going to use premium gas for this truck. Now, it doesn't require premium, but it is documented in the manuals of Ford vehicles that horsepower figures that their EcoBoost engines are rated for are done with 91 octane. Now, we get these vehicles from Ford and they have them all filled up with premium, so even if I wanted to run this test on regular octane, I'd have to run the entire tank empty and then fill it up with regular. So we are going to do premium. It really shouldn't make that big of a difference in terms of fuel economy, but just so you all know. Let's get out and fill it up. 6.234 gallons going in. We're going to reset our GPS. We're also going to reset the truck's trip meter. Next, we are going to do this test in Eco Drive mode. There's also Sport, Towing. What else we got? Slippery, deep snow, sand, mud, and ruts. But all we care about today is Eco. Lastly, set the climate control to 73 degrees auto. And we're ready to begin. We're going to take it nice and easy over to the highway. It's about half a mile. Pick up the test from there. The goal of this test is not to hyper mile, but rather to get a realistic highway cruising fuel economy average. So to do that, we're going to get up to speed at a decent pace, set our cruise control to a GPS indicated 72 miles per hour. Obviously no problem getting up to speed here in the F-150. Looks like the speedometer is quite accurate as well. I've found that in the last few Ford vehicles we've had. Their speedometers and tripometers seem to be very close with GPS accurate. Looks like now that we're settled in, 72 on the car is saying 71 on the GPS, so I'm going to bump that up 1. We should be good to go. One thing to note is the F-150, especially in this XLT trim, is remarkably quiet on the highway. I think these 20-inch wheels are quieter than the 22s that were on the Limited. A little bit windy today, but less than 10 miles per hour, and we're going to be going back the opposite way we're going, so it should cancel out. So we're going to continue on and catch up with you at the end of the test, and in the meantime, enjoy this time lapse of the entire trip. Coming into the end of the highway fuel economy test here in the F-150 hybrid. I don't know whether to be satisfied or not. I mean, we're definitely below EPA, but that's not too surprising given this is a hybrid and a pickup truck, two things that do not tend to do well at higher speed tests. And as we mentioned at the beginning, the EPA test averages a much higher speed than this. But 22.5 according to the vehicle's readout. That's still a few miles per gallon better than the F-150 Limited with the 3.5 liter that we tested earlier this year. Highway comfort's been really good. These cloth seats have a good amount of support and adjustability, plenty comfortable. Very quiet in here. Using our cell phone decibel reader, we measured one way and then coming back the other way, averaged out to 69 decibels. It's not a super scientific number, but something useful to compare to nonetheless. So we're going to take it nice and easy back to the Shell gas station, fill up at the same pump using the same fueling method, and get ourselves a mile per gallon result. Still 22.6 coming to the pump. Let's get out and fill it up. 4.314 gallons going in. 102.2 divided by 4.314 is giving us 23.7 miles per gallon. It's definitely better than the vehicle's readout. Rounding up to the EPA 24 MPG. Now, interestingly, they give a 30.6 gallon fuel tank to the F-150 hybrid, so 30.6 times 24 miles per gallon gives you an incredible 730 mile highway cruising range at 70 miles per hour. That is pretty darn neat. I'm sure you're gonna have to stop and use the bathroom before that, but that definitely helps if you're doing any sort of towing or something like that. Keeps your range at a decent level. Cool, so definitely a degree of fuel economy savings for the hybrid. Still don't know if it'd be better to do the hybrid or just get yourself something like the 2.7 liter. Probably gonna see similar MPG readouts. But hey, if you're doing a lot of city driving or around town, then the hybrid definitely helps. Thank you all so much for watching. If you want to see more on the F-150 hybrid, check the links in the description, and we'll see you on the next one. I'm Charlie from Daily Motor, and as always, drive on.